Well, the New Orleans Times-Picayune was lauded for its coverage, of course, of Hurricane Katrina, also the BP oil spill. Now its owners, Advanced Publications, say they're going to cut publication from 7 days a week to 3. We've got Cameron Recorder in Atlanta joining us. Cameron, this would leave New Orleans as, I guess, the largest American city without a daily newspaper, correct?
That's absolutely right. Yeah, there would be, it would be by far the largest city, largest metro area that doesn't have a newspaper.
And where is this plan? This is something that Advanced Publications has announced. They've already set in motion. Where are we?
They're very committed to it. They've looked at the numbers. They've seen declining revenue, declining circulation. They see this as an absolutely necessary to keep the paper going. Of course, people in New Orleans are up in arms about it.
Let's talk about the declining circulation. I think we have a chart. You mentioned in your story that basically we've seen circulation halve since pretty much
that's on top of, 30% of the population of New Orleans left after Katrina and never came back. So, and then on top of that, people aren't subscribing as well. So,
well, that's an interesting point. Now, what are basically the news today that you report in your story is a lot of residents are very unhappy. I mean, you've got, I guess, Cokie Roberts from ABC and Harry Shearer. Uh-oh, I think we have some technical difficulties back there, but we can see you. But some people who are New Orleans residents, I guess, who are up in arms. They want a daily newspaper. They think it's important for the local discourse. What are the plans that they have to potentially rescue 7 days a week?
Well, they have big hurdles to. Their first approach is to simply pressure Advance to change its mind. I spoke to some of the leaders in that company. They have no intention of doing so. So the second approach would be to, they say they've been talking to some national media companies about possibly starting up a daily operation in the city. There's others who are talking about investing and expanding digital operations that are already in the city to possibly have a print product, possibly have digital operations that are expanded. They're concerned about the loss of the literal print paper, but also loss of what they see. They think these are going to mean cutbacks to investigative journalism, which they think is vitally important to a city on the rebound. I mean, I think a lot of this has to do with, New Orleans is not what we all remember from Katrina. It's really doing well. The economy of Louisiana is doing well, and they're very proud of where they've come from and how far they think they can go, and they consider this to be a sort of a civic slap in the face.
Doing well enough to support a daily newspaper?
That's a great question. Advanced Publications would say no.
Is there any sense, do we get any from Advanced Publications in their financial filings, for instance? Of course, it's a big media company. There's no...
Private company.
Oh, I'm sorry. Then there's no indication, of course, of what the profitability is.
Yeah, they're private, so they're not letting us know, but they've been fairly candid that, they've been fairly blunt that things were not doing well financially. They've also attempted this sort of thing in some of their papers in Michigan, and they think that those operations have been successful. Other people disagree, but they think that it's at least been profitable, and they see this as a path to the future. They think print is eventually dead, so why not pull the trigger now?
Now, another thing that residents maybe are hoping for is potentially that Advance would sell the paper, but they don't want to.
They state very bluntly that they won't do that. We'll see. But yeah, they're talking to about this civic group that's formed has been talking to investors, potential investors, about possibly buying the paper. Advance is pretty clear that they don't want to do that.